08. Basa. The people are called BASALINGS in the galaxy called door. Make and sell space stations. We just make it here before we run out of power. We landed on this planet somewhere in the BA galaxy. We checked the planet to see if there's anything here we can fix the ship with. One of the asteroids went through the hull and we have to find something to fix it. For what we found we cannot fix the ship. So that means we are stuck here until someone finds us or we just die off. The crew of the ship is almost enough people to start a new life here on the planet. If we had to land somewhere else I don't think we would have made it. My name is Joe and I am the captain of the ship Basa I. My job was to find a planet to settle in the Door galaxy and return with the information. And that means that we will not get there or even back home. So this planet I guess is our home whether we want to or not. When I went to the bridge everything seemed to be fine at the time, but as things go you will find out. Just as I sat in my chair one of the crew said, "Captain, there is something out there but we cannot make it out because it is so far away." I said, "Status report about the planet." James said, "The planet has all the right stuff here to live on." As he went on, "We can leave the ship and look for what is out there." I said, "Tim, take the away team and see what is out there and be careful." As the team left I said, "Keep a transporter lock on them at all times." John said, "It will be done." I said to James the science officer, "I want you to scan the planet for anything that we could use to fix the ship." James said, "I have already done that and there is nothing we can use here." I said, "I guess we will just sit and wait." All of a sudden the ship moved and everything shifted. I said, "What was that?" James said, "The ship is on a big rock and the ship is shifting." I said, "Can we get any power to move the ship to a safer place?" James said, "By my monitors we have some power but not enough to move the ship very far." I said, "Do it and make it quick." I heard the engines come on and the ship started to move away from the big rock. We landed in a patch of woods and the landing was a little bumpy but we made it. By then the away team called in and said, "There is a little village not too far away from where the ship landed." "Then you must have seen the ship land." Tom said, "I wondered how long the ship would sit on that pile of rocks." I said, "Why didn't you call in and tell us about where we were?" Tom said, "I tried but you would not answer." I said, "Communications was down for a while, that's why." Tom said then, "Do you want us to check out the village?" I said, "No, return to the ship." Tom said, "We will be right there. This is the captain to Transporter 5, beam the away team back. This is Transporter Room 5 and transporting them now. They have transported safely and they are on their way to the bridge." I said, "Tom, meet me in my office pronto." Tom said, "Be right there." When Tom got in my office I said to him, "Did you got a look at the people in the village?" Tom said, "The people in the village seem like us, they crashed landed and are stuck here." I said, "Take James with you and go and check out the village. If you come in contact with anyone just tell them you are lost and want directions to the nearest town." Tom said, "Can we do it in the morning because it is nighttime here now?" I said, "Get a good night rest and check out the village in the morning." Tom left my office and I went to the bridge. Just as I sat down in my chair James said, "There is something going on in the village." I said, "Put it on the big screen." The screen came on and what we saw was very interesting. Almost all the people was in the street dancing and have a ball. It seemed like a big party with people jumping around and women running back and forth. It looks like they are square dancing. I said to the crew, "Too bad we were not invited." The next morning Tom and James went to the village. They have been gone for a long time now and I wonder what is going on. Brian said, "Tom is on his way to the bridge." When Tom got to the bridge he said to me, "I want to talk to you in your office." I got up and we went to my office and when we got there Tom said, "This planet is called Basa and 5 miles to the south there is a manufacturing plant and they make space stations. If we can move the ship to the plant we can fix the ship and we can be on our way. I said, James, see if you can fix the ship to get us to the plant. James said, let's go. Then I fixed what I could just in case we had to go somewhere. I said then, what are we waiting for, let's go. The engine started and we're on our way. We flew over the village and everyone looked to see what it was. When we got to the plant it was so big that we flew around for a few minutes just to find a place to land. When we landed people come from everywhere. The doors opened and I walked out and one of the men came to me and said, how can we help you? I said, we was damaged when we went through the asteroid belt. The guy said, you was lucky you was not destroyed. There is so many ships that go through that belt and get destroyed that we go out on missions just to recover the remains just for the parts that we can salvage. We will have your ship fixed in no time. I said, where can we go to have a good meal and see what you do here? You can go to the main lobby in the plant and there is information on whatever you want, just follow the signs. Then I said, we have a crew of 50 and can we take all of them? The guy said, that is all you have on this ship. I said, that is all. He said then, we can handle a ship with up to 5,000 crew members. I went back into the ship and said over the intercom, if there is anyone that would like to have a home-cooked meal and check out the plant you can come with me. After I said that people come from everywhere and they all followed me to the lobby. On the lobby wall there was a big picture of the plant and where everything was, even the dining room. That was the place I hit and a lot of crew members followed me to the dining room. When we got the dining room it was so big that it looked like a football field. After we ate we went back to the ship and when we got there the guy said, the ship is all ready and we will send you the bill. I said, that will be fine. I called the rest of the crew in and we took off. The rest of the mission went as planned. When I got back home I said to the wife, let's move to Basa. My wife said, what is on Basa that we don't have here? I said, I have been there and they make space stations and I bet we could both get a job there. She said, then what are we waiting for? We left and took the next ship to Basa. When we got there we found a hotel to stay in for a while to look around and check out what is here. We have 2 weeks before we have to be back to go back to work. We found the office and we both put in applications for jobs. After we left the office we went back to the hotel. When we got to the hotel she said, we have the time to play some chess. Well I said, well I didn't have that in mind but if that is what you want to do that is fine with me. We set up the board and played a couple of games. She beat me bad both games. We put up the board and ordered lunch out. Just as our lunch got there the phone rang and it was the space station and he said, when can you both come to work? I said, we can go to work right now. He said, be here in 1 hour and you can get started today. I said, we will be there. I said to Janet we can go to work in 1 hour. She said, well let's get ready then. We both started to get ready and there was a knock at the door. I answered it and it was lunch. After lunch we left to go to work. It was not very far so we walked there. When we got there we found the office again and we got there just in time. We walked into the office and the secretary said, Tom is waiting for you in his office. I said to myself Tom. When I walked into the office it was Tom, number 1. I said, you had the same idea didn't you? Tom said, you bet. I put an application in before we left to go home and I got a call just as I got home. Then Tom said, I have a job for you and your wife and I think you will like it. You will be a head of production and she will be a head of sales. Then Tom said, I am just the one that hires and fires. I said, how much does it pay? Tom said, twice as much as you was making as a caption. I said, I will take it. Tom said to my wife Janet, how much was you making before? She said, 5 grams less than Joe. Tom said, how would like to make the same as Joe? She said, really? Tom said, the job that you will have you will deserve it. Tom said, Sales are down to 30% this year and the year is almost over. The company usually sells 10 space stations a year, but this year we have only sold 3. We need to sell 7 or 8 more just to keep all the people working. If you sell more, great, because if you sell more than 8 stations, we will have made money this year. If we sell just 7, that means we just broke even. Janet said, "Don't you make any money when you sell the space stations?" Tom said, "We make only 1 million per station sold. Then we buy all the stuff to make another one, and sometimes everything goes up in price, so we did not make that much. I will show you to your offices and you can go from there." I said, "Tom, how did you get to know all about what is going on here, when you have only been here for 1 week?" Tom said, "I worked here before I went to work for you." I said, "So that is why you know so much about this place." Then Tom said, "Where we landed was right next to my house and I stopped there, and that is when I really called them for a job. I didn't want to die in space like we almost did." I said, "I know what you mean, and that is why I am here too. I have been a captain on a ship for 10 years and finally the wife said to me, 'Why can't you got a real job?' And then I said, 'Only if I know of a place to go to work other than here,' so here I am." By then we was at my office and he said, "Whatever you need the secretary will take care of it." Him and the wife went off talking, and the first thing the secretary said, "Would you like some coffee?" I said, "What is your name?" She said, "You can call me Jane." I said, "Okay Jane, what is the first thing we have to do?" After I got sat down, Tom come in and said, "Now I will tell you why I wanted you head of production of the space stations. You used to be a head of one of the stations we build and you know what goes wrong with them. I want you to try to fix some of the things that go wrong before we sell them." I said, "If this is Basa and that means this planet makes the Basa I stations." Tom said, "That is right." I said, "Well then let's get to work." Tom said, "It has been a while since you was on the space station and we have made a lot of changes already, but we still have some problems that you had back then and we just cannot seem fix them." I said, "What is that?" Tom said, "You will find out soon enough, but for right now do you have another questions?" I said, "Then, there is only one question I want answered." Tom said, "What is that?" I said, "How did the planet get started?" Tom said, "Well, it is a long story, but here it goes. A long time ago when the stars was just stars and not very many ship roamed the galaxies, there was a man called Harry Basa and he wanted a place to make space stations that would change the way we lived. He crash-landed on this planet and he was here for 2 years before he was found. By then he called this planet home. When he was found he was living in a small shelter where the main plant is now. He went back and found funding and come back to this plant and started building his plant. It was 3 years before he finished his first space station and it took him another year before he sold it. If he did not sell the station when he did, he would have gone bankrupt. He sold it just in time. After the first sale of the space station, then the orders came in so fast that he could not keep up with them. In the past year sales have fallen. We have sold over 1,000 space stations to every race there is out there. Now if we want to sell them from now on we will have to make them better and last longer. Some of the first space stations are not in very good shape and they want to trade them in for a new one. But we don't know what to do with the old one if we trade. If we did trade we could not give them very much for them anyway. Not as much as they would want for them anyway. You will have to come up with a plan to upgrade the old ones and make the new ones better." I said, "Well, it sounds like a project to me." Tom said, "That is why I want you on our team." Tom left the room and I call in Jane, my secretary. Just as she walked in I said, "Sit down and tell me what is wrong with the space stations anyway." We talked for quite a while and she told me what I needed to know. There is more problems than they can solve. The main thing is they don't have a good engineer to solve the problems that come up. I said to Jane, I want you to find James from my ship as soon as you can and have him report to my office in the morning at 9 o'clock sharp." Jane said, "All the offices don't open until 10 o'clock. We work from 10 o'clock until 6 o'clock 6 days a week." I said, "Tom didn't say that." "I want you to put a call in to Tom right away." She left the room and the phone rang. It was Tom. I said, "Hello." Tom said, "Yes, how can I help you?" I said, "What are the hours and how many days do we work?" Tom said, "Come and go as you please, because as long as you are here every day for a while and take care of what goes on, it don't matter. Just make sure everything is taken care of. If you want to, you can set the hours that you want to work. Everyone sets their own hours and you can too." I said, "I like that." Tom said, "I thought you would." Then I talked to Jane and told her my hours are going to be the same as hers because I need you here when I am here. Jane said, "That is fine with me." It has been 5 years now and just about everything that went wrong with the space station Basa I has been taken care of and sales are back online. I have set everything up with Janet so we work the same hours so we can go to work together and come home together. We take trade-ins and fix what is wrong with them and give them a complete overhaul. It is cheaper to fix a old space station than to build a new one. So sales are good. They trade in the old one and buy one of our semi-new ones. The semi-new ones are just like new and they have all the new upgrades and add-ons, which the old one did not have. If there is something we cannot fix or replace, we just put in a new room with all the new equipment already installed. The transporter works fine for this and it is so easy. Transport the old one out and transport the new one in. I was the one that set that one up. If the space station is so old that the hull is bad, we just run the whole ship through the replicator to put more metal in the hull to bring it back to normal, and sometimes it is better than a new one. There is a lot more to fixing up an old space station, but it seems to work. We have had only one problem since we have been doing this, but it was not bad enough to replace the station. It had a crack in the hull that we did not know about. So they brought the station here and we fixed it in no time for free. The people here are very nice and fun to be with. Well, it has been 5 years now and me and the wife Janet have 2 girls and 2 boys now, and we still work at the plant and still make and fix space stations and everything is fine. If sometime you ever get to Basa, please look me up and we will talk about giving you a job on Basa. Oh, Tom got married and he was here on Basa for 2 years, and one day he come to me and said, "I am leaving Basa because I took your old job, seeing the world through a view screen." The story is written by Joe Dorsum for the Wish newspaper.